Good morning, girls and boys. It's Friday. Here we are, at the end of the week again. Friday the 12th. Is it 12th, isn't it? Friday the 12th of April 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to you from Television Centre here in Bracknell in Royal Berkshire, boys and girls. I don't know why I'm happy this morning. Well, I'm always happy. Always happy no more. But I'm bouncing. I'm extra bouncing this morning. And I don't know what. Well, I think things have gone quite well already, except for one thing. I was filling out one of those surveys. You know? You get about 5 in the email every morning now, don't you? So I'm filling out one of the surveys. This one was from TomTom. Now, TomTom is a sat-nav type thing, and you can either get a standalone unit or you can get a program to download on your phone. There's lots of different sat-nav units, sat-nav programs that you can use. TomTom is just one of them, and it was the market leader. I don't know if it still is or not. And I used it for many years, which I paid for, but then they changed the maps and the way they look. And instead of being like a 2D type thing, they became 3D. And they became difficult. I personally, and my mate actually, we found them difficult to look at once they'd done that. And also, the map just didn't seem to be able to keep up with how you were driving. So you'd like get to a road, and then the map would move to the road like that, after you'd already got to it. So I kind of fell out of love with that. And I was mentioned Waze, W-A-Z-E, by a minicab driver, a very good friend of mine, Mr. David Rosen, who used to DJ with me. He's a minicab driver now. And he said, oh my God, he said, no, try Waze. So I did try Waze, and I've used that ever since, for the last two or 3 years or something like that. But nevertheless, TomTom sent me this thing. So I replied to it, what do you think? And I said, I can't, it's difficult to read the map since you changed it 2 years ago, so I don't use you anymore. But then that wasn't the upsetting bit. The upsetting bit is where it came to the end. What age group are you? And it was something like 18 to 25, 26 to 32, 32. I was the bottom box, 55 plus. I was horrified. I'm in the bottom box, 55 plus. Not happy with that at all, dear. But fortunately, almost as soon as I put that little pen down, my niece gave me a WhatsApp FaceTime type call from Cyprus. And not only that, while she was on the phone, about 5 minutes after she rang, there was a knock at my door, and it was the people that came to change my solar meter, which has now been done. 2 lovely blokes, didn't want a cup of tea or anything, just wanted to get on with the job. Took them to the electric cupboard. They took out the old solar meter and put the new one in. The solar meter is for me to read every 3 months, and then I send the reading to an electrical company, in my case Scottish Southern Electric. They look at the reading and they send me a bit of money, worth about £150 a year, okay, in 4 bits. So you're kind of, in the winter you kind of get like 20 quid, and then it's like, 60 quid and whatever, okay, that's how it works. So it's worth doing. I said you get about £150 a year. Unfortunately, the meter change has cost me 140 quid. So it'll take me a year to get that back again. But that's all right, because then after that, it's worth doing. It's worth doing for sort of, I think I've got about another, let me think. You only have that payment coming in for so many years. I can't remember how much longer it is, but I think it's about 7 or 8 years. So it is worth doing, and the meter's done and the little light's flashing on there, so presumably that's all right. Unfortunately, I will lose the money that I could have made since the last time it was read, which would be, I think possibly October, November time, up to now. No, hang on. No, it was January. I read it in January. So February, March, April, I won't get that bit of money. But we're talking 20, 25 quid, because that's the lowest part of the year. In winter, when the sun is not very high in the sky. In the summer, you can get 50, 60. I think I got £75 one summer. That's money for nothing, isn't it? So worth doing. So they've been down. Although I ticked the 55 plus box on there, I kind of looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, oh, 55, do I look 55 plus? And then, I put on the news just after the meter men had gone, just to watch a little bit of news before I come up and talk to you. Julian Assange, my God, hasn't he aged? Christ, he looks like an old tramp, doesn't he? Did you notice that? Remember Julian Assange when he first went into that Ecuadorian embassy? It wasn't actually that long ago, was it? Was it about 8 years? 7 years? 8 years, like something like that. It wasn't that long ago. My God, he looks like an old tramp when he come out of there. Awful. Awful. He really did. And they bundled him into a police van. There you go. They get you all in the end, my dears. You all get caught in the end, especially you. You over there. I can see you from here. Putting through those grapes as carrots at the Sainsbury's self-checkout. You'll get caught eventually. Yes, you will. One day you'll do it like that, and then you'll be going, and wait till you're out the door. I've seen it with my own eye. No, it hasn't happened to me. How dare you? It hasn't happened to me. I've seen it as they go, excuse me, sir, hand on shoulder. Ha ha, they've got you. Can I just take your bag? And you'll be thinking, they're never going to check whether I've put through grapes as carrots. Yes, they will. You'll get caught. Don't do it. Julian Assange got caught. You might get caught. You will get caught as well. I'm a great believer. All bad people eventually get caught. Absolutely. He looks like an old tramp, that Julian Assange now, doesn't he? I mean, is it Jeremy Corbyn's brother? Is Julian Assange Jeremy Corbyn's brother? That is because they look the same. They do look both like dirty old tramps. I'm sorry, they do. We want someone dressed nicely like I am in the morning. Can I just blow my nose? Do you remember? Dear me. Isn't it awful, that grey beard he's got? How you can have a beard going that long, grey, unless he's waiting to be Father Christmas. He needs to put on a little bit of weight if he wants to be Father Christmas. Can't have a skinny Father Christmas, can you? That wouldn't be right. Got to be fat and jolly. A little bit like myself. Fat and jolly. Thank you very much. Like yesterday, after I finished the show yesterday, I put the washing machine on and my mate came round and we went into town. I had to go to Reynolds, the stationer, because in Reynolds you can send stuff on DHL. So I go in there. Remember I told you my accounts, my end of tax year has happened now. So here we are. Here I'm always prepared. Always prepared. 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks after the end of my tax year, I've sent all my accounts off to my accountant to deal with. Here we are, always prepared. Always get those accounts off as quickly as possible. And if you send them in early, talk early, I don't have to send those in until December. Right? I've sent them in now. Soon as your tax year, and everyone has an end of tax year if they're self-employed, mine is at the end of March. As soon as that comes, get your papers together, off to the accountant, and then he can sort it. Therefore, if there's anything wrong with them, he will contact me and say, oh, this is missing or this is missing. There was a couple of years ago, I'd done something wrong on the printer. And it says, well, you've spent, I don't know, £5,000, but you've only earned £1,000. And I'm looking at this thing and I couldn't work out what it was. And I hadn't printed the whole thing out. I'd printed sections of it, so I'd done it all wrong. So now I send him... What I'd done is try to split it up to make it easier for the accountant. But in doing so, I'd mucked something up. So now I just print off the entire thing and send it off to him. And I suppose he sits there and he's waiting a little tick there. Yeah, that tick, tick, tick. And he does all that business. And then after he's finished doing my accountants, I send him on holiday, for a 3-week holiday to Australia. First class, probably, with the fees that he charges me. That accountant, God, that costs an arm and a leg to have an accountant, but worth every penny, I have to tell you, because they save you an awful lot of money, all legally, that you wouldn't know that you can claim for. Honestly, so it's worth doing. And as I say, you get your stuff off early. If there's any problems at all, he'll contact me and say, oh no, this doesn't look right, or you're missing this statement, and then you get onto the bank and you ask for another statement, or you don't have to do that anymore. You just print them off yourself. You go on your bank account or your credit card, find the statement, print it off and send it to him. There's always something missing. I think I'm pretty good at collecting all my papers and statements and all that together. statement will arrive, or each month I might print off a credit card statement, put it there, and it goes in a filing cabinet. And then when it comes to my time, 31st of March, shortly after, in this case this week, I think I did it last night. Was it last night? What time? No, the night before, when I come back. That was the night before. I collected all my papers together, pulled them out of the filing cabinet, put them in date order, and yesterday I went down to Ryman's, and there you hand them all to them, and they select a nice bright yellow box, put them all in a box, seal it up with a security label, you get a tracking thing, and then they charge you £15, I think that was, to send all that lot off. It's not bad, is it? And that's all gone now. Fantastic. And you get that probably before 10 o'clock this morning, I would imagine. It arrived in the next 25 minutes. And done. So many people leave it to the last minute. You know, and they're scrambling around on, I don't know what it is, the 30th of... What's the last date you can send it in? Is it the 31st of December or January? One of the two. And they're looking on the 30th of January. They're coming up to me in the pub. Oh, I'm self-employed. I've got to do my accounts. I've only got a day to send them off. They leave it till the last minute. Very, very foolish. Very, very foolish. Get them all sorted, okay? Then I had my haircut. Nice haircut today. £11. My mate was in there having his haircut as well. He went in to have his haircut because he has the whole thing usually. The haircut, the beard and all this business. So I go and do my stuff. And by the time I come back, then I have my haircut and we finish roughly about the same time. He couldn't take his eyes off the boy who was cutting his hair. You know, very sort of not Mediterranean, that dark skin. Where would I associate that? Somewhere like perhaps Iraq, that sort of colour skin. Turkish coloured skin he had. He couldn't take. Just watching him all the time. And so obvious. How you can stare at someone so obvious like that, you know. Shocking, really. And that was it. Came back, had a bit of lunch, hung me washing up. Do you like... Who's got washing lines in a garden? And have you got one of those? Oh, I love it. The sun was out. It was a little bit cold, but not in my garden, strangely. Whether it's the fence that stops the wind coming through, I don't know. But when the sun was on you, it was a lovely day yesterday. And there's something very nice about going into the garden and hanging your washing out on a line in the sun. Oh, it's lovely. I hung all that out. And that was it, really. That was my little day yesterday. Then I watched some telly last night. I'll tell you about that in a minute. It's an excellent programme for you to watch on BBC Three, Colour, which I'll tell you about in a minute, which I've discovered. Okay, let's say hello to some of you this morning. Shania is our first message of the house in today. Good morning to Shania on the Isle of Wight. Morning, Shania. I've just got my list of hymns. It's me this week, Shania. Palm Sunday, organist, Chris Reardon. Yes. I've got All Glory, Lord, and Honour. All glory, Lord, and honour to you, Redeemer King. That one. And then we've got My song is love unknown, my Saviour good to me. La da 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 da. That one. And to finish with, ride on in majesty. They are our hymns this week. That's the list that's been sent me, and I'll probably stick to that list. I think they're quite suitable. Although I probably would have done ride on first, and All Glory, Lord, and Honour at the end. I don't know. I might swap those around and see how that goes. Morning to Gustav, Heather Claire Lander. Good morning, Heather. Long time no see, my darling. Hope your little girl's all right, my love. All right. How old is she now? Your little girl. Heather used to come along to the karaoke in Sydenham and also in Dulwich. It's some years ago now, isn't it, Heather? Gosh. Morning to Martin Edwards. Wishing Friday greetings. Thank you, Martin. Gustav, congratulations, Shania. There's no prize, dear. There are no prizes for first message. It's all just fun, Gustav. Do you remember that, lovey? Do you remember that, Gustav? Having fun without it being at other people's expense. Do you remember that, lovely? Do you remember being nice to people? Wayne is in the house. Good morning, Wayne. Ray Reynolds. Good morning, Pop Pickers. Ray Reynolds. Mike Reese. Good morning from sunny but chilly Portsmouth. Mike, I just wanted to tell you, the main camera that I'm using now is a Logitech C920. I might have said C970 to you, but I double-checked, and it's a C920, so you might want that bit of information. They're not very expensive. You can probably get a second-hand one on eBay if you want to save a bit of money, or buy a new one off Amazon, something like that, okay? Let's have a look. Diane Jeb. Good morning, Diane Jeb. Weird City Citizen in the house. These tunes remind me of the Dallas intro. Oh, if only. I don't think we'll ever see Dallas back now. I really don't. They tried the reboot and viewing. I thought it was fantastic, the reboot of Dallas. Viewing wise, it didn't do well at all, so they scrapped it, didn't they? I don't think we'll ever see Dallas back. Shame, innit? Good morning to Maureen. Texting in on the texting number there. Hello, Maureen. Timmy Thomas. Hello. Having breakfast after ridiculous early 7:30 MRI scan. I didn't know they did them that early. 7:30 in the morning? Gosh. Wow. But it's a lovely day out there. Enjoy your weekend. Do you know, Timmy, as I've got older, I got up earlier. I was up this morning at 7:30. I don't need to get up at 7:30. I'll get up at 10, 11, 12 o'clock if I wanted to. Such a waste of a life, don't you think, no, Timmy? These people, they're in bed until like 2 in the afternoon, aren't they? Oh, no. No. The best time of the day is in the morning. So you've experienced that today, even though you didn't want to. Hello to JP. Good morning, JP in the house. Adrian Richardson. Is it your birthday today, Adrian? You better turn up tonight. I might have something for you. You better turn up. I'll be pissed off if you don't turn up to the pub tonight, Adrian. I tell you that now. Hello to Tahim. Good morning, Tahim. Merlin. Hello, Merlin. Lovely to see you. I presume you've recovered from your night out the other night. Was it a GAY or Q-bar, one of those two, where the little Twinkies go? I bet you feel out of place in there, don't you, love? Oh, dear. How old do you feel in the Q-bar? Morning. My friend, he DJs there, Aaron. Also known as Vicky Vivacious. He does a bit of drag as well. Really good looking boy. Aaron, he's been DJing there for 10 years and it's his last night there tonight. So I don't know what you're doing. Go down and support him if you want to. He's quite popular there, I think. You know, as I used to be when I was a young, pretty DJ. Not now. But, you know, people move on from pub and club DJ to international television star. That's me. Perhaps the same will happen for Aaron. I don't know. Waze is brilliant, says Wayne, now owned by Google. Yes, of course. There is also Google Maps, which is pretty good. But the TomTom thing, have you used the TomTom at all, Wayne? It lags. It's dreadful. You get to the road and the map hasn't got to it yet. Dreadful. They really mucked that up, I tell you. They did. Good morning to Dr. SOS Gregorian. Good morning. Oh, he's not well. Oh, sorry. You okay, dear? Get well soon. I recommend watching lots more of my shows. That will make you feel better. Either that or you might want to kill yourself by watching more than one at a time. Oh, dear. JP, morning. I used to bridge my electric meter, so got electric for free. Well, that's a bit illegal, JP, isn't it? Electric for free. Stealing electricity, dear. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. With all that money you've got, JP, from your YouTube channels. Blimey. Ask Martin. No, I wouldn't do that. Absolutely not. I ain't doing that. No, never going to turn that meter around. That's really dodgy doing that. You get done for that. That's probably a lot of money, probably a prison sentence. I was going to might have to report you later, actually, JP, to the authorities. Thank you. Timmy Thomas, Julian Assange is an old tramp and now homeless. He is. He is awful. Well, he won't be homeless soon. He'll have a lovely little room in a prison in America somewhere, won't he? Adrian said he looks like Catweasel. He looks work. Catweasel didn't look horrible. You liked Catweasel. I looked at this bloke being bundled into the police van yesterday, that Julian Assange. He looked like a dirty old tramp. He really did. Awful. Hello to Sarah Lou Lace. Good morning. Who's off to work this morning? Hayley's there. Hello, Hayley. What's your opinion on Brexit? Oh, we don't really do Brexit, Hayley. But we should have come out by now, in my opinion. We absolutely should have come out on now. That's all I'll say on it, okay? Hello to Merlin. Did mine last night. It will be the last year. He's talking about his accounts there. I'm using my account and going to move to QuickBooks. QuickBooks. Well, I hope you know what you're doing, Merlin. Those accountants do save you quite a lot of money, mate. Just make sure you know exactly what you can claim for. And, of course, what you can't as well, you naughty boy. Ian Days, good morning. I hope that you're putting in the accounts for 2 studios this year. I never thought of that, Ian. Yeah, I should do, shouldn't I? 2 studios. 2 studios. Morning, Ian. Adam the plumber's there. Morning, Adam. I hope you saw your little video played out yesterday of you making the scrambled eggs. Fantastic. Fantastic scrambled eggs from Adam the plumber. Hello to Paul Finicky. Morning, Paul. One of our old quiz night people. He used to come along to the quiz night occasionally at the King's Head Theatre Bar where we were doing that. Do you know, I've not been doing that. It must be a year since I left that one there. I don't mince the traffic. Funnily enough, the Wednesday night seemed to be really bad for traffic going from here to Islington to get there for 8 o'clock. Oh, it was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. But never mind. We had a good time while it was going, didn't we? SOS Gregorian watches TV in black and white. Cheaper TV licence. Oh, you tight old thing. Go and spend a bit of money and have some colour in your life, dear. Morning to Joanna. Good morning, Joanna. I hope you were there early enough to hear me just sing a little bit of the 3 hymns on Sunday. Shania, I would have done Ride on Ride first. Nice selection of hymns. Do you only have 3 hymns? We have 4. Entrance, offertory, communion and exit. Yeah, I don't know why, but at the 11 they don't have a communion one. So what I tend to do is play a hymn anyway. Just quietly, you know, while people... Otherwise you've got dead silence and footsteps, you know, going up and down, mustn't you? So... don't you? So I sort of play one sort of quite quietly on which is unusual for me to play quietly, let me tell you. I found a wonderful, type it, I'll tell you what, Shania, when I finish a show, go onto YouTube, type in Songs of Praise for All the Saints. Oh my God. Talk about rousing. Type that in, for all the saints, Songs of Praise. Blooming wonderful. I think that one's about 5 or 6 years old with a little Welsh boy. What's his name? You know, I'm walking on the air. That one. Alan Jones. That's it. Alan Jones. He's sort of hosting the end of a thing, and it's on there. So have a look at that. Morning to Russ Philip Vernon. Good morning to you. George Ramsey, you're there every morning. Benidorm is with us. Come in, Benidorm. Your time is up. George is in the sunny place of Benidorm. Only time I went to Benidorm was in 1983 for my honeymoon. Yes, I was married for 9 whole months. How? Wow. It's a long-term relationship for me, that is. George says, good morning, a happy Friday from a glorious sunny Benidorm. I do enjoy listening. Good. It's all about having a little bit of a laugh, George. That's what it is. We don't like to get too serious. Sometimes people sort of try and be a little bit serious, and I try and deflect that. I do try and deflect that. Ray Reynolds, Good Friday is only a week away. Yes, indeed it is, Ray. And because of that, I'll be going up to my caravan as usual on Monday after I finish work. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But I'll be coming back this time on Thursday night so I can be here for Good Friday. Otherwise, I can't do and I always go to the church on Good Friday. I can't really do it up that end because the Good Friday Mass is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, I have to leave Lincolnshire at 4 o'clock to be down here in time for work. And it's quite a long Mass. It can go on till about 4:30. So I just wouldn't be able to do it like that. So I'm going to come back here. So I'll go to Mass here 3 o'clock. And then I can come back here and everything sort of fits together then. So I'll be coming back a little bit earlier from my caravan this week. Thank you. Wayne has never used anything other than Waze since 2011. Yeah, it's very good, isn't it? It is very good, that Waze. Merlin, working midday till midnight today, selling vast amounts of chocolate to idiots with children. Shove it in their mouths. Merlin is the one who is making all your kids fat. I'm telling you that now. Watch out for... He's a dodgy old character, Merlin. They come into his shop, a bar of chocolate, and he shoves it into their mouth. Merlin is responsible for the obesity crisis in this country, if not the world. What? Don't go into Merlin's shop. Chocolate shoved down there all the time. What shop do you work in anyway? What shop do you... have you got a post office, Merlin? I'm sorry, mate. Sorry, Merlin. Have you got a little post office in the back there? Oh, dear. Adrian, can you hold everything about the shower? Thank you. See you when I get out. I was going to go in the shower. Oh, please, don't. Oh, I've got visions of you coming out of a shower. Oh, God. Hello to Paul and Lou. Good morning. Claire is there. Good morning, lovely Claire. Mark Cording there. Everyone's here today. Mark. Good morning, Mark Cording. Ray, strange how they open up a Lidl next door to a council estate and sell skiing equipment. I shopped at Lidl and bought bread, potatoes, steak, a pair of industrial goggles and an angle grinder and a riding helmet. You get it all in Lidl, dear. And Aldi as well. Went into Aldi last night on the way home. Got some potatoes and some bits and pieces in there. Paul and Lou reckon watching us on YouTube is like the posh side of watching us. Those of you watching on Facebook are probably Aldi shoppers. If you're watching via YouTube, you're probably shopping Waitrose. Am I right there? Morning to Dean Spears. My God, he's up early again, Dean, aren't you? Didn't you go out last night, dear? Morning, Dean. Are you still going in that place in Clapham, are you, my love? Or have you flown to other places now, Dean? Do let us know. Let's have a look. Okay. Do you play The Lord Have Mercy? No, but I think I might be starting. Now, what's the tune that they use there? Can't think of the tune. I can't think of the tune, Shania. No, I can't think. And if I don't know the tune, I can't play it. I did have it in my head, but the very fact that I can't remember it now means I probably shouldn't be playing it. It's quite a quiet one. There's so many different versions of it, isn't there? I want to suggest to him that he does the Credo in Latin. Oh, I'd love to play. It's years since I've played that at a church. I play it myself downstairs, and the Kyrie, the Missile DeLangelis one. You know, that one. I like that one. Timmy Thomas. Oh, sorry, you're talking to each other there. Go on, Dean. Dean has just written two letters. Go on, Dean. Do a whole sentence, love. He's just put I'm. Force yourself, Dean. Try and do a whole sentence. Go on, Dean. It might be a little bit too much for him this early in the morning to write a whole sentence. Is that right, Dean? Maureen says she's got a washing line in the garden. She hand washes all her clothes. Okay, she doesn't have room for a washing machine. Wow, that's some going, Maureen. I don't think I've ever hand washed anything, to be honest. I've always got a lovely washing machine downstairs. A few years old, you know, but it's okay. It's all right. Now, I think the messages have stopped again. This happened the other day, didn't it? Isn't that funny? Okay, I can pick them up on the other side here. Let's go there. Oh, Dean's barred. Yeah, they've stopped coming up on that side. Let me just close that chat thing, because that might mean I can't get the YouTube ones. Let's reopen it and see what happens. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? That happened the other day, didn't it? Now that's a clear box there. So can someone on YouTube just quickly say hello? Paul and Lou, could you just type hello for me so I can see that's coming through? Dean's barred. Are you really? Oh, you didn't tell me. Oh, what for? Oh, dear. You weren't caught upstairs, were you, lovey, with someone? Oh, dear, you mucky little thing. You really are, dear. Merlin, if I had a post office, I'd probably get away with being rude to people. No M&Ms. Oh, he works in M&M's world. And to clarify, the kids are fat because mum and dad left their darling little children eat hands full of stuff without paying for it. Do they really? Okay, Paul and Lou, I've got you there. Thank you very much. So the YouTube's working there. Shocking. Hello to Mari. Morning, Mari. She's going to Bath today, leaving in about an hour's time. So good luck for you there. Have a lovely time there, Mari. Nathan Vaporboy Edwards, good morning to you. Best way to spend the morning. Thank you, Nathan. We like to have a little bit of a laugh here. Oh, the messages are coming back through now. Hello to Shania. Shania says she hand washes clothes. Wow. I don't think I'd want to do that, hand wash. I just literally chuck them all in the washing machine. And I'm not very good at sorting out whites and colours. It's such an easy thing to do, isn't it? You don't do the whites at the same time. So you leave. But what I see is a pile of washing. Oh, it'll be all right. And then you put it in and then you come out with a pink sheet. Which would be very suitable for Dean. He's a bit pink. Dean. It's a bit girly, aren't you, Dean Spires? Dean Spires is a bit girly. He gets barred from places, though. But don't talk to Dean while he's on here, anyone, because he can get you into some serious trouble. He gets barred from places. I've never been barred or chucked out of any venue. My nephew has. My 22-year-old nephew, Jimmy, got chucked out of a place there. They were just on the way to a football match. And I think it was getting a bit loud in there, so he got chucked out. Of a pub. How embarrassing, being chucked out from a pub. Dear me. Oh, Christ, that's a long message, David. Come on, mate. You've just taken up the entire screen. I can't see all the other messages now. Morning to David. Michael Pullman's here in Australia. Morning. Adrian, you can start the shower again now. I've just got out of the shower. Thank you. Oh, well, do you want me to reboot everything I've just said? I'm trying to get on here. The Bullring in Birmingham, they have Build-A-Bear next door to Anne Summers. Always found that a bit weird. Build-A-Bear. Have you ever done that, Build-A-Bear? Christ, it costs you about 40 or 50 quid for a bear. Cheaper to go into Argos than buy a ready-made one. It's really expensive build. And you put the little shorts, the little underpants and little boots. Blimey, it's so expensive. We did it once in either Edinburgh or Glasgow. I think it was Glasgow. My sister and my nephew had never been on a plane, so I decided to take him to Scotland for the day. I got him to come down here. We had to go to Stansted Airport, which was all right. Got on this plane and great. I gave him the first plane trip. How wonderful is that? John says, I can see you do your own ironing. You must have blooming good eyes, John. I don't do any ironing, ever. Ever. Merlin got barred from a Weatherspoons. You must have been really bad. You weren't snogging another bloke, were you, Merlin? In the times where that wasn't allowed. You know, was it a proper, was it a, or was it a, one of those snogs? Did you actually ask him first? Dear. John. JP, Paul and Lou say I iron in the bark. No, I don't. I don't iron. End of story. Good. I've been on today. Outfox The Market. That's my energy supplier at the moment. This is nothing to do with the solar meter that was changed earlier. That's a different thing altogether. Outfox The Market. I've got to tell you, I'm still £185 in credit. This is the third time now. I've wrote the first two times. You got a automated response. Thank you. We're dealing with your inquiry within 14 days, and nothing happens. So yesterday, I got up. You know, a lot of places have got these little chat boxes, haven't they? So I got up one of those and spoke to some bloke called Sam. Probably not his name. And I said, look, I'm still £185 in credit. I want some of that money back. I think £120 I've asked for back, and they should put that back in my account. And he informs me, thank you very much, sorry for the delay. I can see you asked for this in February. It'll be in your account within the next 3 to 5 working days. So we'll see how that happens. Outfox The Market. I've found on Facebook there is a dedicated Outfox The Market group of people who are all having trouble with this electrical company, either getting refunds back for having too much credit or leaving them to go to another electrical company or another power company and getting the money that is still in that account transferred over to. There's a lot of people having problems with that. Now, my contract with them runs out on the 25th of May. So on the 25th, from the 25th of April, I can switch suppliers. And I will be doing that as quickly as possible. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful customer service. Because what's supposed to happen is that if you're far too much in credit, you simply tell the electrical company, and they look at it, and if they agree, or they might say, well, yeah, you need so much in the account to cover this. But generally, they will then send you that within a couple of days. This is not happening without Outfox The Market. And if you go on the website, that the Facebook group there, you'll see people that have been waiting 3-4 months for their money. And then they go to a site called Resolver, 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 and you open up a complaint with them, and what tends to happen is that then they take it on, and within a couple of days you get your money. But you've got to go right through all this rather than you should just be able to tell them. It's disgusting. Disgusting. So I rang them yesterday and I got that money back. I also rang Virgin Media to cancel my broadband. Now, my broadband contract runs out on the 31st of May as well. I'm always very well prepared with money. When it comes to money, I'm very good at saving it, believe me. Really good at not spending it unless I absolutely have to. Okay? But after speaking to a bloke on there, and he said, "Would you like me to try and get you a better price?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What have you got?" I said, "I've got 4G 3 for £22 a month." He said, "Oh, we can't match the 4G prices." I said, "Well, okay then." I said, "I'll have to hand in my notice." And he said, "Well, if I do it now, you'll get a disconnection fee, plus you'll have to pay for the next month." I said, "No, I don't want you to do it now. I want you to pencil it in, or whatever you have to do, for the 1st of June. So that then I'm ready. So I've done it." Do you see what I mean? Apparently he can't do that yet. Not until the 30th of April. So he said, "You've got to ring back on the 30th of April, cancel it then, and then there won't be any cut-off fees or anything like that." So that's what I do. As you know, including today's show, we're coming over the Network 3 4G network, which I've been trying out now for a week with no problems at all, except for last night, which I'll come to in a moment, but I think I know what that was. So basically, all the computers are talking to my 4G router, this is the 4G router. I know I've mentioned this a couple of times this week. That's the 4G router. There are no wires. There is actually an Ethernet one socket at the back of that. Okay, which you can use. I'll probably plug in the broadcast computer directly into that. Apart from that, everything else is talking to it wirelessly, including the other computers, the television downstairs, and my hard disk recorder. They all speak to it wirelessly like a hotspot. Okay? And then it goes out over the 4G network. No broadband cable coming into it from outside. All wireless. And I think it's fantastic. And it's been working extremely well, with no problems whatsoever until last night at about midnight. And I'd watched about half an hour of an excellent programme on BBC Three that I'd love you to watch. It's called Pose. Pose. Now, BBC Three doesn't have their own TV channel, but they're kind of a brand, really, which they umbrella certain programmes under this. This programme is called Pose, and it's a drama with quite nice music set in the 1980s about drag queens and a boy who's just decided he was gay. Oh, it was awful. A young black boy in New York, I think it was, and his dad comes home and he's found a dirty magazine. I mean, what boys don't have dirty magazines under their bed, whether it's women or other boys? You know, it's just how it is. Anyway, the dad was a bit alpha male, okay? And he says, "What's this?" And it was, if it had been girls, I don't think it would have been a problem, okay? But it's boys in it. Well, not boys, muscle men. And he's got this magazine. He said, "What's this?" And he said, "I've just been down drinking with my mates," or something like that. And he says, and my mates told me they saw you coming out of a ballet school, jumping around. He said, "How do you that makes me feel?" And then he comes out with a magazine and he starts hitting his boy. He starts hitting him. It's sad. That's what used to happen. Not to me. I never told my father I was gay. I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think he would have understood. You know, you have to look at that other side of it as well. You know, they may not understand, so sometimes it's best not to say anything. It really is. They probably knew, or certainly Mother did. I told Mother. She kind of just someone was staying here one night, and who I'd been going out with for some time, and I'd forgot she was coming as well. And she said to me, where is Robert sleeping tonight?" I said, "Well, he's in with me." "Oh, right." "Oh, that's nice to be someone close to someone like that." And that was it. But I think I think men in their... Not so much the young fathers of today. I don't think it's so much of a problem with young people today, but certainly men over the age of, shall we say, 55 would still have a bit of a problem with it. Unless, of course, they're gay, same as me. But, you know, I think they'd still have a bit of a problem with it. But in the 80s, it was all very quiet. You know, no one was really out that much. And so that's just one scene in it. And it's also about these... it's a very, very good It's really good. And you'll love the music in it. And there's very funny bits. And there's sad bits as well. It'll take you up and down, this programme. The programme is called Pose. Pose. And it's on the BBC iPlayer. Really good. I highly recommend it. There's no... I've only seen one episode so far. There's no rude scenes in it or anything like that. There's no funny business, at least not so much as I've seen so far. I think there's a little bit of swearing in it, but it's okay. Do give that please give that a try. I think you'll enjoy it. So that's it. Pose, P-O-S-E, on the iPlayer. Now, going back to the router, so I watched about half an hour of it, perfectly all right, and then I started getting buffering. And I thought, oh, okay, you know, just a little problem. First time I've had this. Remember this 4G router? I've now been using this for about a week. I've been doing everything on this, including the shows, for about a week. No problems. It was about 12:30. I started having a bit of a problem, and it kept happening. It was so annoying. You'd like watch a couple of minutes of the programme, and then it would stop again. And then a little note would come up on my screen: internet connection failed. Now, and it did carry on. I had that problem for about half an hour, I would say. Half an hour. Now, this morning, I've got up this morning, and I got up extra early this morning, just because I woke up. No point in laying in bed doing nothing. So I got up extra early this morning, and I put on another programme I've started watching called The Victim. Anyone seen The Victim? Okay? It's already been on the telly. It's on the iPlayer now. And The Victim... again, that's a little bit funny and a little bit drama-ish. And there's one scene in it right at the beginning where this bloke comes home and he opens his door, hello to his family, you know, little children and wife and all that. Hello, and there's no answer. Hello, and he goes into this room, opens the door, and there's his little girl with her throat slit like that. It's like throat slit. And I thought, oh my God, he's had his family murdered while he's been out of work. And all of a sudden, little go, Happy Halloween! And she wasn't dead. What an awful thing to do. Can you just imagine that? Walking in on your family and finding he's got a slit throat. Well, what am I going to do now? And suddenly they shout out Happy Halloween. It's because it's Halloween. So that seems quite good. I've only seen 25 minutes of that so far, which is just before the solar meter man came round this morning to change my meter. I watched that through my 4G broadband, high definition on the BBC iPlayer with no problems at all. So my guess is last night, it would be 12:30 at night, they were probably doing some sort of maintenance on the network, I would imagine, because that's the first time I've had a problem with it. And generally, you may have noticed your bank or your email service, sometimes you log on, like, I don't know, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and it say, site is down for maintenance. Generally, that's the same with telephone networks and internet networks and things like that. So my guess is that they were doing some sort of maintenance on it last night, and that's why I was having problems. This morning, perfectly all right. You're watching this over 4G. I've watched half an hour of a programme on the iPlayer this morning, and that's all working perfectly well as well. So I would guess that. So two excellent programmes if you watch there. Pose on the BBC iPlayer and The Victim also on the BBC iPlayer. Let's just go back to some of your messages, gang. It's not too many. Heard some bad stories about Outfox The Market. Yeah, type in your Facebook there, Mike, if you want to. Outfox The Market Discussion or something like that, and you'll see a myriad of people there who have had problems with that company. I'll be straight off as soon as I can. Even if they turn out to be the cheapest one, I'm off, mate. No, you don't muck me about like that. I can't bear companies that muck me about when you send them so much blooming money. Outrageous. JP says I look better on Facebook. I look exactly the same on Facebook. What are you talking about? Have you got your colour settings on right? At least I don't look orange like that Richard Madley did on the telly the other day. Why do they do it? Why do people put on orange makeup? They look absolutely awful. Awful. Morning to Roy Brownlow, friends, fans and followers. His royal presence is here. Good morning. We bow down to you, Roy. Although I'm not going down on 2 knees. Not for you, sir. Adrian, do I do and will pay less than what they want for the balance? Okay, Adrian, do I do and I will pay less than what they won't? I don't know what you're talking about there. Try that again, Adrian, please. Good morning to Gary Butler. Nephew Gary Butler is in the house. Morning, Gary. Mike is with Utility Point Energy Company. Been with them 9 months now. If you use the code, you can get 25 cash back. That's what we like. I do tend to use U-Switch or someone like that. With the U-Switch, there's a box you tick, and you need to tick it to show energy companies that you can't switch with them. You have to do it direct. But often you'll find that one that isn't listed is actually cheaper than all those that are listed. So watch out for that. There's a little box somewhere that says show companies that you can't switch to via this website. Something like that, okay? Adrian never had dirty magazines. You can never presume things like that, Chris. I'm really quite upset and offended, traumatised. Good. I'm glad you're offended. I like to try and offend at least 10 people per show these days. Thank you very much. Good morning to Dow. Good morning to Dow. Stephen Seagal is there on Vaughan Live. Good morning to you, and a shout out to Gaza as well. Thank you, Stephen. Okay. Adrian, you should inform them about the problem. You've had a look. Might give me some credit for your area. What, 3? Well, it was only 20 minutes. It was only 20 minutes. I seem to be having a problem with it. That's okay. People have to do things at night time. That's when this usually networks are maintained, when most people are asleep, you see. Adrian, Facebook, you do look better when I put on YouTube on my TV. It's too much detail. We could always turn the picture off if you want to. Turn the picture off and be done with it. All right. What's the other thing I watched last night? Holby City. From Tuesday night. Eventually got around to watching Holby City, which was quite good. Dom, who is like a character in there, he's recently found out he was adopted. And his adopted mother never told him until she accidentally bumped into his birth mother. And it's all gone a bit wrong. And he's kind of rejecting everyone at the moment, including the mother who brought him up. And he was saying he's now found the natural mother, you see, who he'd been working with for some time. But neither of them knew. Neither of them knew that that was Dom and that was his birth mother. But he's kind of rejected both of them. And he's been really quite nasty to both of them. And it's all a bit self-centered, to be honest. You know, it's things like that. You have to think, why can't you think about the feelings of the other person? The woman who brought him up. From 6 months old, he is now rejected because she didn't tell him earlier. For 30-odd years, she's cared and wiped his arse for him, fed him, clothed him, taken him to school, and he's rejected her because she didn't tell him. Awful. No feelings. And I don't like the character, I'm afraid. It's not doing it for me at all. He's also rejected his natural mother for giving him away in the first place. Awful. Awful. It's very, very self-centered and not thinking of the other people. I myself was adopted. Okay? The lady who adopted me, who passed in the year 2000, is my mother. As far as I'm concerned, she's my mother. That's it. End of story. That was my mother. I also found my birth mother when I was about 22 years old as well, and we became friends. I do not dislike... she passed 2 years ago. I do not dislike her in any way, shape or form, hate her for giving me away or anything like that. She thought I would have a better life somewhere else, so that's what she did. So I don't dislike her. I certainly Although my mother and father told me I was adopted, I can't even remember when, but it must have been very, very early, which was fine. But I wouldn't. This one on Holby City is just being really horrible about the whole thing. Typical of funnily enough, he's a millennial. Okay, no thought given to the two women that actually need to be comforted now. Funny, isn't it, really? But some people are like that. It's all me, me, me. Don't worry about how unhappy you're making these two women. One who brought you up, and one who gave you away because she thought she wouldn't been able to cope. Would have had a better life somewhere else. Incredibly sad. Awful, awful. I've gone right off that character, that Dom. Let's have a look. Adrian says, I never pay the full amount they want on direct debit. Well, you have to, didn't you? Because I always seem to be in credit. I'm £185 in credit. £185 in credit. It's hard work to get the money back, so I always pay them less, which we agreed when speaking to the operator. So if they ask them for £50 a month, I pay £38. Then, like at the end of the year, if they require more, I pay the balance. But don't they set the direct debit, Adrian? I'm sure they set the direct debit. You can't go to your bank and say, right, I only want you to send them this amount each month. Can you? You can't do that. They set the direct debit, don't they? I'm sure they do. Merlin, the box tick thing on U-Switch I think is scandalous. They don't show you those companies you need to do the switch yourself with because they don't get a kickback, unlike the ones they do. Yes, that's right, Merlin. And most people I don't think realise that there is a little tick box to do if you want to see the companies that they don't themselves switch with. You have to do it yourself. And I have to be honest, I think Outfox The Market was one of those. And I had to switch direct with them. Perhaps that's where all the problems have come from. I don't know. Something like that, wasn't it? Good. So that's Holby City, which I watched, and I do enjoy it. Jack Naylor was really cold last night. Jack Naylor in Holby City. If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Bad news, those you take photographs of ladies' knickers. It starts today in today's Daily Mirror. So-called upskirting today becomes a specific criminal offence, boys and girls. It's punishable by up to 2 years in custody. And perpetrators, I like that word, perpetrators risk being placed on the sex offenders register. So no more taking photos of ladies' knickers. You naughty. Incidentally, I just want to point out, if at any time tonight, because I'm hosting karaoke tonight at Central Station, if you want to take a picture of my arse, then you feel free to do that, okay? I want to see some cameras out tonight taking pictures of my bum. You do that tonight. Don't do it to other people, okay? You get put in prison. You can do it to me. Anyone who wants to take a picture of my arse tonight at any point, in fact, I'll even pose it for you as well, then you feel free to do that. The Daily Mirror, the new police figures showed a growing number of victims last year included a pensioner and school children. The data shows victims were targeted in shops, while at work, in the street, even at school. Dirty people. With only a handful of cases resulting in a criminal charge. Well, it's criminal to do that now. The vast majority of cases involved female victims and male perpetrators, according to data released by police forces under the Freedom of Information laws. And it goes on to tell you the general figures and what's going on there. So that's it. That's it, lads. No more taking pictures of girls' bums or women's bums. Dirty people. Merlin, on the subject of direct debit, shows you do not have to agree for it as long as you're being reasonable. Yes. So I'll have to look at that. When I switch, I'll be switching soon anyway. Do you think it's all right to cancel the direct debit to that company now? Because I'm not going to be with them now for more than 2 months, and yet they're holding £185 in. So much money to have, isn't it? It really is. One more story for you today. One more story. Again, we'll stay with the Daily Mirror. Okay, one more story. If someone offered you money to give up your best friend forever, would you do it? And how much would it cost to ruin your friendship? We're probably talking about big numbers, right? It says in the mirror. After all this, your best friend we're talking about, they all know all your dirty secrets. They do, don't they? Best friends know all your secrets. They do. Well, if you're thinking the figure would be millions, you've been wrong. A new study has found that a lot of Brits would be willing to say goodbye to their best pal for just £131,000. The research, commissioned by Foxy Bingo, saw 2,000 men and women being questioned over just how much money it would take for them to ditch their friend. 40% of participants admitted they would definitely bin their best friend for the right amount. Results showed, of those that asked, men would give up their best friends for just £106,000. I beg your pardon. Women would give up their best friends for just £106,000, while men would require a bit more money at £180,000. So that's the average of £131,000. If I gave you £180,000, would you give up your best friend? You can't talk to them anymore? Or see them anymore? Would you give up your best friend for £131,000? If I gave you that money, would you say goodbye to them? You'd never be able to cry down the phone. In the mirror, of all those questioned, those who lived in Liverpool were found to be the least loyal to their mates, saying they only need £62,000 to sever ties. Meanwhile, those in Glasgow would need a bit more incentive. They'd asked for a £200,000 cheque to do the deed. As well as this, the survey looked at attitudes towards friendships, and it's fair to say that we can all be pretty cruel to our pals. 15% of people confessed to bad-mouthing a friend behind their back, while 11% admitted they had a WhatsApp chat that purposely excluded certain members of their friendship group. What's a WhatsApp group? I don't know what that is. I've got WhatsApp. There's lots of people on the same thing, I suppose, is it? It gets worse. 7% of participants made the shocking admission that they had previously flirted with their friend's partner, and a further 6% even went as far as to kiss them, like Merlin did, with tongues. Despite these acts, many still thought they were a good friend, and a whopping 84% of people said they would lie to protect a friend, with 21% adding they'd continue to back them up no matter what they had done. So how much would it cost you to get rid of your friend, eh? How much do you want me to give you? Roy Brownlow, £160. I'd get rid of you and I the body. Merlin, I'd take a £5 if it got rid of Ricky. I'll take him off your hands if you want, Merlin, as long as he gets a decent haircut. Roy, yes, bye-bye, Chris. Give me the cash. Good morning to Peter Lake. When are you doing a late show? Don't know, Peter. As and when, mate. As and when. None of these shows are scheduled, as you well know. They just appear as and when. Usually around about 9:30 in the morning, but they can happen at any time. Have your little notifications set on there, Peter, okay? I'd have it set on the YouTube and on the Facebook, so if one doesn't work, then that works, okay? Paul and Lou, anyone taking a picture of my Mrs. Knickers is going to get 2 years. I'd give them counselling. Peter's at the job centre looking around for a job. Good luck to you there, mate. Hope you find a little job there, all right? Merlin, think of all the money I wouldn't spend on alcohol if I got paid a £5 to dump Ricky. Do you have to buy all the drinks, do you? Is he one of those? Is he one of those that disappears to the toilet when it's time for him to buy a drink? Or does he just keep disappearing to the toilet anyway? He seems that sort of person. Morning to my sister. There's Sharon Butler. That's my sister there. She's doing decorating. They're decorating their dining room at the moment. And she was telling me they decorated her mother-in-law, who passed a couple of years ago now, but they decorated her room a little while back, and then Baby James went in there and ripped all the new wallpaper off. Baby James is in the house. He came round my caravan once, Baby James, only once. But I'm still picking up little bits of pear everywhere off my blooming living room in the caravan. Thank you very much. Hello to Narendra, who is in India this morning. Good morning to Narendra. Welcome to the show, sir. Okie doke, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday on this Friday, the 12th of April, 2019, to the delightful Rory Dyer. Good morning, Rory. Nice to see you. He used to come along to the karaoke at Fulham Belushes. Morning, Rory. Barbara Manilow Hayes, one of our lovely Manilow ladies, is today 71 years old. Happy birthday to you. We've got someone with, it might be Chinese writing there. I'm really sorry. I can't read Chinese, but it says you're 53 years old today. So happy birthday to you, sir. Mark Whiter is today 43 years old. Lisa McDonald today 42 years old. And Yvonne Colin White, it's their birthday as well today. So happy birthday, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Okay. Don't forget, try that programme out on BBC Three. Please have a look at it. Merlin, I think you'll love it. It's called Pose. Pose, and it's on the iPlayer, on the BBC iPlayer. Give that a watch. I think you'll enjoy that, okay? Maybe not a good programme to watch with young children, but apart from that, go and watch it. Teenagers, I reckon it's all right for teenagers, actually. Pose on the BBC iPlayer. Okie doke, are you coming along to the karaoke tonight, Merlin? Bring Ricky down to sing a song or two. Or maybe just the one is enough from Ricky, to be honest. I'm hosting karaoke tonight in North London. There it is, Central Station Bar at 37 Wharfdale Road in King's Cross, London, N19SD. Starts at 8:30 and goes right the way through until midnight tonight. Karaoke tonight, Friday night karaoke each and every week, 8:30 at Central Station in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Thanks ever so much, gang. A pleasure to talk to you on this Friday morning. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again on the next show. Bye-bye now.